Morning, everybody. Time for a morning memento and recovery snack. And by the way, up in the corner, one of these corners, I figured out how to save all my videos, all my older ones. So if you miss a day and want to get caught up or whatever, there's a playlist now when my videos come on. And you can click that little button up in the top and it'll take you back to all the month of December, and you can find what day you missed. So, hope this finds everybody well. Wednesday, the 29th, 28th, January 28th, and it is cold in Virginia, and I've got an ice skating rink in the yard I didn't even ask for. It is what it is. Be safe out there. I'm going to try to make it back into town and get back to life as previously known before this storm come in. So super excited to see my workmates and everybody and get back to it. So let's dive in. Hazelton, 24 hours a day again. The link to this reading and several other readings from this book and Hazelton itself will be in the description of the video. January 28th, AA thought for the day. What a load hangovers put on your shoulders. What terrible physical punishment we've all been through. The pounding headaches and jumpy nerves, the shakes, the jitters, the hot and cold sweats. When you come into AA and stop drinking, the terrible load of hangovers falls off your shoulders. And what a load of remorse puts on your shoulders. That terrible mental punishment we've all been through. Ashamed of the things you've said and done. Afraid to face people because of what they might think of you. Afraid of the consequences of what you did when you were drunk. What an awful beating the mind takes. When you come into AA, that terrible load of remorse falls off your shoulders. Question, have I got rid of those loads of hangovers and remorse? Meditation for the day. When you seek to follow the way of the Spirit, it frequently means a complete reversal of the way of the world which you had previously followed. But it is a reversal that leads to happiness and peace. Do the aims and ambitions that a person usually strive for bring peace? Do the world's awards bring heart rest and happiness, or do they turn to ashes in the mouth? Prayer for the day. I pray that I may not be weary, delusioned, or disappointed. I pray that I may not put my trust in the ways of the world, but in the way of the Spirit. Oh, Lordy. You know, my perception of what you, or others anyway, thought of me drove me way back when. Keeping up the Joneses, if you will. Keeping up with the Joneses. My perception, what I thought others thought of me was one of the most important things that kept me moving and shaking and worried about a new car or the new iPhone or the nicest this or the brand name that or whatever the case may be. And there's nothing wrong with having some nice things, especially if that's what you work for and you drive and you take pride in it and you're doing it in a healthy manner or whatever. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I got to a point to where that was the status quo of how I judged myself. If I was healthy or not was whether you thought so. They thought so, if you will. And the remorse of the hangovers, and more so for me, the hangovers, I never sobered up enough personally to where the hangovers took effect a lot of times. More times than not, I wasn't that far off from another drink or a drug to where I never really fully got the stuff out of my system. But the remorse, some of the things I did, some of the things I wasn't sure I did, some of the things I was real sure I did, or the way I acted, my behaviors and the way that I treated people and the things that I did. I spent a lot of time alone trying to rationalize things that occurred in my life as I continued trying to figure out who I was. Nobody ever told me, I was not brought up that the things that I found myself in sometimes were okay, and the actions and behaviors that I did were okay. As a matter of fact, I was brought up, stating clearly, you don't do these things. A, B, and C. These things are bad. You should not do these things. But when I put alcohol and drugs in me, it was just more times than not, everything was reasonably okay. But every once in a while, you didn't know what you was going to get out of that bag. You didn't have any. I didn't know. Nobody else could have known. It was a hard way to live, trying to explain away some of the things I found myself in. And I sat alone many times trying to make sense out of it. And the piece in there talking about chasing material things as far more so than spiritual things. I wouldn't even speak with my God. The God that I was raised with and understood, I was quite sure was sick and tired of me and the way that I was. And I figured that it had an ill, perception of the way I was carrying myself as well. Probably didn't want much to do with me. I had a hard time getting myself turned back around toward my higher power because I was pretty sure it didn't want to talk to me. Not the things that I had done. So, a constant connection, tethered to a power greater than myself, which I keep open and flowing on a daily basis these days, makes it okay to not have the newest iPhone for me. Makes it okay not to have a brand new Lexus. It makes it okay for me to be who I am when I'm not drinking and drugging and living inside this skin with relatively to nil to none discomfort. I've actually found a world where it's okay to be Chris, and you're allowed to have your perceptions of me, whatever they may be. I understand I'm flawed. I'm working on me, and I continue to go, but I no longer am driven by the fact that I need to be perfect for you or anybody else. Recovery is freedom for me. With love, compassion, empathy, and respect, I say to all, I don't care what many people think about me anymore because I like me, and I believe my God likes me, and I don't need much more justification, or stamped on approval than that. Although I do have to listen, to my people and my wife and my parents and stuff like that every now and again. But anyway, I'm rambling. Y'all stay safe out there. Please like, share, subscribe, do the things that you need, that you feel are drawn or felt to do or whatever to kind of get this around, trying to build my base. Lord willing, we'll see you tomorrow, Thursday. Y'all have a blessed day and stay safe. Thanks again for joining me. Bye-bye.